Thank you, Lindsay. That was beautiful. And what is that instrument? A dulcimer?
Mountain dulcimer.
A mountain what?
Mountain dulcimer.
Mountain dulcimer.
Also called an Appalachian dulcimer.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. It was beautiful. All right, good morning. Welcome to the University Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. That's okay. Let's all take just a moment to silence our devices and get ready to settle in for our shared hour together. Before our service begins, there's time for committee chairs to briefly share items of importance or an event that's coming up in the church, anything that you need to say. So come on down. If you'd rather share from your seat, let me know and I'll carry the microphone to you.
Hi there, this is Allison again with marketing. Last week we did some video testimonials of people sharing why they love Triple U for social media, and we got a lot of people that said yes and filmed with us, which is awesome. Thank you all. We are doing that again after service today. If you are interested in filming a 60-second, 30-second-ish, just why I love Triple U that you're happy to put onto the internet, I will be outside in the garden and I can coach you. It's not all on you.
Yay.
So. Thank you.
Thank you. Who's interested? I'm going to sign up. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. I just wanted to let you guys all know about the cool summer camp day we're having next Sunday. It'll start at 12:30 p.m. So that way, we are doing a picnic lunch here. Everyone can bring their own lunch, but if you forget or don't want to, you have a little bit of time to run and grab lunch nearby and come back for the 12:30 start. We'll be doing a bunch of cool crafts and singing around a paper campfire here in the nice air-conditioned indoors. And so everyone is invited. It's an intergenerational event, and I hope you can make it.
Good morning, Margie with membership. For any visitors or people who've been coming for a while, or even if this is just your first day, on August 4th, after services down in the conference room, I'll be conducting what we call a no, we stopped calling it that. Anyway, a little meeting where we talk about what Unitarian Universalism is all about, a little bit about our, Derek, what's the matter? Oh, okay. Yes, Roberta. Oh, we'll get back there and really work on it and make sure the conference room is ready.
It'll be ready by the 4th.
That's
in the notable news.
Thank you.
Have
Thank you.
faith.
Anyway, it's a fun get-together with a little bit of coffee and cake. And also, I've had a bumper crop this year with mangoes, so I don't think they're all gone. If you want some mangoes, they're in the back corner of the room.
Hi, Lori Hospitality. Just wanted to announce the next two potlucks because people always say I don't give enough notice. So August 25th is the first one, and then September 8th.
Hi, I'm Crystal. I'm here on behalf of Parent Support Group. This is just your occasional reminder that we do actually have Parent Support Group here. We meet at 9:30 on the first and third Sunday of every month. Anyone who sees themselves in a caregiver role is welcome to join us, and I look forward to seeing you all. Oh, and there's Artie during those times.
Thank you. Thank you. August 25th, the potluck will also be Reverend Tracy's last Sunday with us. So we are planning, some goodbye rituals, want everybody to participate. So please try to be here on August 25th and bring something good to eat. It'll be a lot of fun. So before we get started, I'd just like to remind everyone of the exits. We have the door you came in, the back door straight down the hall. The back door is open behind, right next to the kitchen. And of course, we do have one back here because you can see the exit sign. So they're all over the place if we need to leave in a hurry. And it's cold and flu season. If you start coughing during service and you want a mask, we have them out in the lobby. So just, be cautious and stay home when you need to and keep everyone else's well-being in your mind. And if you haven't signed up yet for our notable news, There is a QR code in the lobby, as well as handwritten forms if you prefer, so that you can get all these announcements in a timely manner. It comes out every Friday night at 7 o'clock, I think. It may change a little bit, and I think that's Thursday. But anyway, once a week, you'll get up to date. So if you start putting that on your calendar, you'll always know what's happening here. Except for those little things that pop up unexpectedly, which are just as much fun. Yeah. My opening words this morning. This morning, you'll be hearing from two of our members who answered the call from the program team to share their beliefs about some of the big questions we all ponder, like what is the meaning of life? Why are we here? What can we learn from all the sources that are available to us? As Unitarian Universalists, our spiritual beliefs are our own, not a written creed or a set of rules. We do have guiding values and principles, and as our fourth principle states, we affirm and promote a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. Truly upholding this principle means our religion can and will change by the discovery or unveiling of new truths, and we as UUs will also change and grow. Revelation is not sealed, nor found only in one source, and it's continuous. Hence, we call Unitarian Universalism a living tradition. Our faith encourages us to question and understand and build our own meaning together. Our speakers this morning will share some of their practices and experiences that have helped them in their search for truth. I want to share two thoughts from UU ministers. The Reverend Dr. Sherry Prudhomme uses a patchwork quilt as a metaphor for our UU theological heritage of storytelling, sharing, and truth-seeking. In a patchwork quilt, each piece of fabric contains a story in itself: where, how, when it was made, what it was part of before, who has touched it. Sewn together, the quilt collectively tells other stories and goes on to be part of other stories, and so on. And the Reverend Paige Getty, from our 7 principles in word and worship, reflecting on principle 4. That is the end which the free and responsible search should illuminate great truths even more effectively, elucidate the human condition, create meaning in the midst of life's confounding reality, and to reveal insights that help us to shape the world into the heaven we yearn for. Listen, contemplate, share, repeat. This is only the beginning of a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. Being in community while doing so makes it even better. Now for our opening music, we have Lindsay and Michelle this morning. Here Comes the Sun. Or maybe just... yeah.
You do have Lindsay and Michelle, but we're taking turns. There we go. Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling, it feels like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. Little darling, the smiles returning to their faces. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. Sun, 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 here it comes. I wanted to come early. Sun, 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 here it comes. 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 Little darling, I feel that ice is slowly melting. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been clear. Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. It's alright. Thank you.
I think that was even better than all right. It was very nice. This morning, our chalice will be lit by Addie, who is 5 years old. There she is. And she got to see her friend after the diabetes conference. In the light of truth and the warmth of love, we gather to seek, to sustain, and to share. In our congregation's affirmation, love is the spirit of this church, and service is its gift. This is our great covenant, to live together in peace, to seek truth and love, and to help one another. Let's take just a moment to welcome our guests online. Everybody wave and say hi to our Zoom and YouTube people. We're happy you're there. We are an eclectic congregation, which means we have a lot of different people, different ideas, different philosophies, different ways of being in the world, and we share them together as we try and understand our Unitarian Universalist faith built on shared values and principles. So I encourage you to come more than one time to get a full flavor of what we're all about. While our presentation styles may differ every week, our underlying principles remain the same. And we welcome you to come to part of our community. So take a moment to talk to somebody next to you that maybe you don't know, or you don't know well, and I'll call you back in 20 seconds. Thank you. That's just a sample of what our conversation after service and our potlucks and all the different discussion groups we have to offer can be like. So come get to know each other. Joys and Concerns is a special time in our service where we set aside for our members to share things that weigh heavily on their hearts and things that lift their spirits, so that we can either give them a hug and support or cheer them in their joy. So please come forward as you're willing and able. And if you need the microphone brought to your seat, just raise your hand.
As the official birthday girl, I'd like to welcome you all today
Yay!
to my party. I have an ice cream cake in the freezer, which I'm going to take out when the kids go back so that it can sit out for a little bit before we cut it. Everybody is welcome to stay for ice cream and cake. I do have one concern, however. Yesterday, my husband, they thought he had a stroke. We don't think it's a stroke now, but he's in the hospital. And I'm not going to be able to stay real long after the service. So please get your ice cream cake. Some people, other people will be here. In case I do have to run out, you can still get your cake. And that's all taken care of. But anyway, I hope that you all will celebrate with me afterwards. I just have a couple of things. I want to thank Martha last night, who drove all the way down to the hospital because I couldn't deal with GPS, so that I could follow her and know where I was going, because I was just kind of overwhelmed. And she's such a sweetheart. She's always there for me. I'd also like to say thank you to Luna for dressing up in her beautiful dress.
Oh, wow.
I don't know whether you know this, but I have 2 new roommates now, Luna and Cookie, who have been a joy in my life, and I'm so happy that they're with me right now. It's been wonderful. I'd also like to thank Alice for this lovely flower that she gave me today, and also some of the other members of the community who gave me cards. Thank you. Thank you all. Being 80 ain't so bad.
My grandma's coming today. She's gonna stay a couple nights.
I got new sneakers.
Hello, I have 3 joys. I know some people are on the way to Susie, and my 2 daughters are now, I think, in South Carolina. They got up at 3 o'clock this morning to drive straight through, which, whew, I haven't done that in a long time. But anyway, they're on the way to Susie and excited about it. The second thing is we have a beach house. I don't know if you've seen the ad in there, but if you want to have a nice stay at a beach house, it's cheap, and you can see me afterwards, or you can go online and look at it. And the third one is I got to do a film 3 weeks ago that's going to have a premiere, I guess, at the Enzion. I don't know. It's just a short film, but anyway, I'll let you know when that happens.
What city is the beach house?
What's that?
What city is the beach house?
Ormond Beach, and it's about a block from the beach. No drive.
Good morning. Friday was Sarah's and my son's 21st birthday.
All right.
Yesterday, we celebrated Sarah's birthday, and today is National Ice Cream Day, so hey.
Woo-hoo. What a week.
Well, happy birthday. I received an accidental phone call, I think it was yesterday, maybe the day before. It was from a friend of mine who I went to high school with, so it's a million years ago. But she and I did a lot of traveling together. We went to England, we went through the Panama Canal, we went to Hawaii, we did a lot of fun things. She is into dementia now. I don't think she meant to call me. When I answered, of course I saw her name, and hi Vicki, and she, I was just kind of paging through here. I didn't mean to call, but you answered so quickly, I didn't have time to hang up. And from then on, she couldn't, I would ask her a question, she had no words. It was, and of course, we're the same age, and that's, it's heart-wrenching. It's just heart-wrenching. And she lives in California, so it's not like I can put some joy in her life other than an occasional phone call or card or something. And it's just really difficult. So.
So, to plug David's house, it's a really nice house, and it is about a block from the beach. It's beautiful. It's very nice. So if you are able to go, enjoy his place. My joy is that next weekend I will be leaving to go get Christopher to bring him here for a while. So I'm very excited about that.
Hi, I'm Mallory Rogers. This is my daughter, Addie. My joy is that last week we had the opportunity to go to the Friends for Life conference, which is put on by children with diabetes. It's a 5-day-long conference where families who have connections to type 1 diabetes get together. Yep, I know it's not your joy. I'll share your joy after. Get together, the adults receive some great education, and the children get to play with other kids who have diabetes or siblings with diabetes or parents with diabetes. It's a wonderful week. We learned a lot, and Addie had a great time. Addie's joy that she wanted me to share on her behalf is that she found her glasses this morning.
Oh, very nice. I hope you didn't have to look quite as long as I do when I lose things. I'd also like to share from Leanne Buongiorno. She had hopefully a final procedure. She's had 3 in the last couple of months. Hopefully this will be the final one to correct that issue. She's still very tired, sleeping a lot. So phone calls may not get answered, but if you'd like to text or send her a card, just check with me. I'll be happy to share her address to you. And keep her in your thoughts, and hopefully she'll be back with us next week. And let's take just a moment of quiet to honor those joys and concerns we both heard and still hold in our hearts. Thank you. One final note from our online group. Our wonderful President Ann and Carl are 30 minutes from Susie. So that's 74 degrees and the mountains are lovely. So maybe we can channel some of that coolness down here. Time for all ages. Let's welcome James McDevitt Phelps.
Hello, everyone, again. So today, I have another one of my stories that I need some help acting out. If any volunteers would like to come up here. Here we go, you can come on up. Okay, so now let's divide up into people. I'm going to set the microphone down while I deliberate with my actors here. Okay, I think we're ready. Okay. And I just want to share, we have 2 actors who are playing one hare, so don't get confused. Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, there lived a hare. The rabbit kind, not the kind on your head. Now, this hare was very proud of how fast he could run, but he could also be a bit rude about it sometimes. One day, he was bragging to all the animals of the forest about how fast he could run and how much slower some of the other animals were, especially the tortoise. "I'll show you," said the hare. "The tortoise and I will race, and you can all see how much faster I am." The other animals in the forest thought this was a silly thing to do, but the tortoise agreed. They set up a long path through the trees and appointed the fox as the referee. Either one of you can be the fox. Ready, set, go. And they were off, the hare sprinting out into the distance as the tortoise slowly plodded along. Well, after a little ways along the course, the hare passed near a stream full of cool, fresh water. The hare's mouth was parched. "Well," thought the hare, "the tortoise is so slow, I have plenty of time to stop and drink some water. I'll still come out way ahead." And so the hare ran over to the stream and stopped to drink some of the cool, fresh water. Once he had his fill, he ran back to the course and continued on, and all the other critters kept watching the race. After a little longer, the hare spotted some nearby berry bushes. On them hung big, juicy, delicious-looking berries. The hare's stomach growled. Well, thought the hare, the tortoise is so slow, I have plenty of time to stop and eat. I'll still come out way ahead. And so, the hare stopped by the berry bushes and began picking and eating berries until he was very full. Once he was finished, though, he was feeling rather tired, much as you often are after a very large meal. Well, thought the hare, the tortoise is so slow, I have plenty of time to stop and take a little nap. I'll still come out way ahead. And so the hare lay down and fell asleep. Well, as the hare was doing all of this, the tortoise was plodding along, slow but steady, and eventually they passed by the napping hare and took the lead. As all the other critters watched on, the hare was sound asleep and didn't notice. In fact, by the time the hare woke up from his slumber, the tortoise was almost at the finish line, and the other critters were all cheering for the tortoise. The hare ran as fast as he could, but he couldn't catch up to the tortoise in time. The tortoise had won the race. Thank you, everyone, for your participation. Thank you again very much. And I will ask all of you who watched if you guys have any lessons you think you picked up from this story. Oh, here we go.
Don't rub it in.
There we go. That's a good one. Oh, I see another one. My morning exercise.
Slow and steady wins the race.
Very nice, very nice.
Don't be lazy and eat food.
Okay, I would word that a little bit different, but I get your point.
When you have a big job in front of you and it just seems like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to complete this all, just take it one piece at a time and eventually you will get there.
Thank you. Very nice. Anyone else? Oh, there we go.
Don't get distracted before the race.
Thank you. There we go.
Don't be overconfident.
Thank you.
Always set an alarm if you're going to take a nap.
That is very true.
What would you rather do? Win a race against a turtle or eat a whole bush full of fresh berries?
Thank you guys so much. I hope you all enjoyed the story as much as I have and have found it a very thought-provoking tale. Have a wonderful rest of your morning.
Another great example of stories and metaphor. You can find a lot of meaning in that. Okay, it's time now for our interlude and offering. As our children will pass the baskets, we collect our offering as usual to support the work of our church and keep the lights on and the air conditioning, and also to support other organizations that we believe share our values and principles and help make a difference in the world. This month's donation will be shared with Planned Parenthood of Southwest and Central Florida. Feel free to walk up like Margie and take a picture of the QR code if you like. Put something in the basket or do it again next week. It's okay. Lindsay? Oh, I think this is the Rainbow Connection.
Why are there so many songs about rainbows? What's on the other side? Rainbows are visions, but only illusions, and rainbows have nothing to hide. So So we've been told, and some choose to believe it. I know they're wrong, wait and see. You can sing with me. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. Who said that every wish, who said that every wish would be heard and answered when wished on a morning star? Somebody thought of that, and someone believed it. Look what it's done so far. What's so amazing that keeps us stargazing? And what do you think we might see? Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. All of us under its spell, we know that it's probably magic. Have you been half asleep, and have you heard voices? I've heard them calling my name. Is this the sweet sound that calls the young sailor? The voice might be one and the same. I've heard it too many times to ignore it. It's something that I'm supposed to be. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. La da da da, la da da, la di da di da da do.
Beautifully done, Lindsay. Thank you. Now, if y'all will join me in singing our children out, they're welcome to stay, and they're also welcome to go have their own lessons. We love you and bless you and send you on your way. We love you and bless you today and every day. Don't you just want to go with them sometimes? But not today. No, Harvey. We have two of our longtime members this morning that are both spirit-filled and love our community and are going to share with us some of their own search for truth and meaning, how and why and maybe what. Amanda Major and Sara Sullivan, they'll introduce themselves individually.
Hi, you know me. I'm Amanda Major. I don't know what else to say about myself, so glad to be here with you, and glad to be talking about using metaphors to interpret the unknown with Sara today. Okay. Let's see what happens when I do. All right, that works. All right. So let's start with a reality check, shall we? Think we should? Yeah. Okay. Reality check it is. Objective reality and subjective interpretation both hold validity. Objective reality lays the groundwork for our collective truths. It's the basis for current event reporting, for current events, scientific discoveries, and cultural narratives. Now, the propagation of disinformation has clouded our collective truths. Nevertheless, we recognize the existence of objective facts. Subjective interpretation adds color to these facts, allowing us to ascribe personal meaning, embellish them to a degree.
through the lens of beauty, practicality, emotional resonance, we put our own spin on things. This morning's talk is all about crafting intentional imaginings. Just as past data can inform reporting or forecasting, so too can we craft metaphorical stories from our experiences into reflections or projections. These are more than just whimsical fantasies, but rather purposeful visualizations, enriching our understanding and emotional states for enhanced living. So to do this, you have to enter the mysterious world of the unknown. To quote Rod Serling, wait for it.
You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension, a dimension of sound, a dimension of sight, a dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone.
Yeah, so it's not really like entering the Twilight Zone. And for those Disney World fans, it's not like riding the Tower of Terror, so don't worry. But it is exciting. So metaphors can serve as a source for deeper interpretation of our everyday living. Our chosen imagery catalyzes our experiences, empowering us to shape our living in meaningful ways, transformational ways. This process can be embraced as a secular practice, as a spiritual practice, or both. These examples that I'm about to cover can offer you strength, connection, healing. Take the resilient palm tree. Consider the palm tree bending, arched way over as hurricane-force winds and rain pummeil down upon it. The palm bends, sways, holds tight by its strong roots to the earth. It shows resilience as it emerges erect after the storm has passed, unscathed. This imagery may come in handy during times of turbulence or just rough times. Take the garden of relationships metaphor. Consider the act of tending a garden. You have to get your hands dirty. Put your hands in the soil and pluck those weeds. You pay attention and nourish each plant so it may flourish. This can serve as a metaphor for nurturing our relationships, guiding your children's development, your grandchildren's development. The garden metaphor can encourage you to consistently cultivate your interaction with your loved ones. The white light of love. Painful memories sometimes can weigh you down. You may want to visualize those people or situations associated with those memories surrounded by a love-filled white light. You can do this again and again. And over time, it brings about healing and forgiveness. It's a great cathartic process. I've used it myself. Consider also the spirit animal metaphor. Sometimes this is used as a source of strength for people. But as a source of grieving, some believe that loved ones' enduring spiritual presence returns in actual physical form. So I believe that my deceased brother, who struggled with addiction for most of his life, returned as a deer in a small herd. It was stoic, caring, just like him. His spirit animal visited me on a couple of occasions, and I took that to mean, that visit from the deer, I took that to mean that he was loved,
and at peace on the other side. It was very comforting for me. I was able to share that with my loved ones so they too could join me in the healing process. Visualizing success. Whether crossing the finish line, excelling professionally, or mastering a hobby, visualizing success is very empowering. Maybe you're holding a trophy. Put the things that remind you of success in that visualization. Held in the mind's eye, again and again, that visualization encourages you closer and closer to the finish line, to that achievement. This practice is almost a mystical interplay of metaphors. It helps with navigating the unknown, and it's not like the Twilight Zone. Also, you can influence the unknown. There's potential for mental energies, for our mental energies and emotional energies, or imageries, if you prefer, to shape our realities. So how do we do this, Sarah?
Well, I thought of one more area, which you can use it as a parenting technique. Let's say your child, there's a time when they really need to sit still, but they're having a hard time keeping their seat. You can say, okay, I want you to imagine that there's glue on the seat and you can't get up because of the glue. And that might give you 5 minutes of peace.
I love that.
Actually, I'm gonna just wait on that one just a little bit. Here we go. So, I want to invite you to consider an area in your own life where you're maybe stuck, or maybe you're having recurring emotions that are being an obstacle to you, or there's a particularly complex situation that would benefit from having a different perspective. Because you might get more out of the rest of this talk if you have an image in your, or a situation in your own mind, a topic that this might benefit from you. So I'm now going to sing the Jeopardy song and give you 10 seconds to think. We won't do the second verse. So before beginning the process of crafting our narratives, it's essential to do a reality check of the current situation, because we don't want to ignore actual objective facts. Did the event that you want to become more at peace or to serve you better, did it really happen the way that you've held onto it in your mind? Or is it personal conjecture, not really anchored in reality? Or could it be validated in some other explanation? By thinking through these things, it ensures that our personal lens doesn't distort too much the reality of the situation. Of course, we see everything through our personal lens, so it's not that it doesn't impact it, but do be mindful of how much it's impacting your interpretation of the situation. This is especially true when it involves other people who come with their own perceptions and their own motivations, and you can make up a story about an interaction you had that may not match their motivations. You then want to consider, is there a way to gather more information that you could base your next steps on objective information, rather than metaphor or crafting your own story? In other words, we're not encouraging you to just make things up while ignoring facts. If you had the option to try and gather more information, do so. But also gathering the information, is that worthwhile? Amanda had mentioned to me an idea that I thought was really interesting.
I definitely think so. Gathering information can give you a sense of what other people have in their minds.
Mm-hmm. But sometimes it's just not helpful for you, though.
Yeah, sometimes you need a buffer, especially if you're putting yourself in harm's way. You do have the potential for someone else to have a totally different perspective view that could be painful. So just to be ready for that.
Yep. Rather than confronting the other person or trying to delve into a past situation, it may be a better choice for you to think about therapy or talking to a friend who can help you tease out what happened. So other options. After all of these, if you're now at the point where a helpful image or a different story is a good option for you, well, there's still things that you need to do. So you have to admit that you don't know, that this is a mystery or an unknown that you're going to go forward with, and to be willing to explore that it may be beneficial for you. And you have to be willing to let your imagination run free, to be open to the creative process. This should not be an area where your logical brain is 100% engaged. This is a creative process.
Yes, it sometimes helps just to pause and step away and empty your mind completely, and then all of a sudden thoughts and images come into focus.
So how do we do this? So here are some methods, especially if you're a word-based person. This association, this particular framework, it's called an association framework, where you take a topic that you're already familiar with, but is really different from the area, the topic that you're struggling with, and you use the one you're familiar with to generate ideas through word association. So of course, you start with that topic that you want to create a metaphor or an image around. And then you prepare a list of words from the area that you know really well. For instance, golf or cooking or mystery books or something like that. And so you create a list of all the kinds of words that you can imagine through that, in that topic area that you're familiar with. And then take a step back and let your mind look at these and make connections between the topic you're struggling with and the area you know. Are there similarities, associations, and then just start writing down what comes to you. And once you've done that, again, take a step back and kind of put them in order of, oh, this one works well, or that one works well, or I could combine these two. So let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. A woman was diagnosed with diabetes about 3 months ago. She did some research, she got a treatment plan from her doctor, but she still has a lot of anxiety about food and eating, and she really worries whether this particular food is going to kill her, or whether that food is going to be so bad that she gets gangrene in her foot, and she just has a lot of anxiety about this new diabetes. She knows medically how she should be eating, but her mental picture of the diabetes is making her food prep and her meals just miserable. She also happens to love classic cars and does work on repairing those classic cars. So she thinks to herself, okay, let's think of all the words we can do with classic cars. So brakes, steering wheel, gas tank, shift lever, tires, door handles.
Headlights, you said brakes. Yeah, clutch.
All those things. Okay, so then she takes some of those and she thinks about the things that really make things run out of control, like a car without brakes or without steering. But she crafts an image reminding herself that diabetes is not a car without brakes or steering. It's more like a car with a flat tire. You can use your jack to raise the car up, use your tools and implements that you have with you. You can put on a spare tire, in other words, use what's around you, and if you drive carefully, you can go anywhere you want to go. So by recognizing that a car with a flat tire is, to her, like having diabetes, it's not a car that is going without brakes. So there's an example of how she could reframe it to help control her anxiety a little better. The second way to do this same idea is to use an ABC list, where you take a piece of paper or two pieces of paper, and down the left-hand side you write A, B, C, D, E, F, G, etc. And then you scan over these letters and you come up with associations for your topic. Don't go in order, starting with A and logically thinking A, B. Instead, do that free association of here's a B word and here's a C word, oh, clutch, and Here's another C word, carburetor. Here, B for brakes, etc. You don't have to use every letter. Just use this as a way to help you make words association. And then again, review your words. What association does it have, and does it help you create the building blocks for your story? So those are two techniques you might use if you're a word-based person. But what if you're a visual person? There's this thing called a visual metaphor. Here's an example. If you think to keep your visualization and you think of yourself as a balloon and other people as cactuses, it's going to help you to remember to keep your distance from them. So here are two methods you could use if you are a visual person and you want to use this. The first is to find a website or a magazine that has a wide variety of images. And while you're holding your topic or area that you want to work on in your mind, you can scroll through them. And when you come across one that has some resonance or you think might be useful, take a screenshot of it, or tear it out of your magazine and just collect images as you go. And then once you've got them all together, again, sift through them, put them next to each other, kind of do a sort to see which one of these help me craft my story. What are the building blocks that work for me? There's also something called an analog graffiti that combines both of these. Here's an example of a person who had, growing up, a definition of success that included working 80 hours a week and never being home and not having any fun, and they realized they wanted a different definition of success for their life. So they used some words like upbeat and fun-loving, and they also had some images of, here are things that I could do that matter to me, like being out in nature, or having friends, that's a definition of success. Or spending holidays with family, that's a definition of success that I can work with. And so by using this to craft a new one, they now have a new image they can work with. So maybe the old story of what success means doesn't have so much power over them. We do want to take kind of a side tangent now. While we're talking about crafting images or metaphors or thinking differently about a problem, there's this idea of escapism or denial. We want to just have you be mindful of these in this realm. Some examples of escapism might be reading a book or watching movies or playing video games or things like that, that could be positive or refreshing, or they can be damaging and time-consuming and harmful to your everything. So if you've got a visualization or a habit or something, how do you tell if maybe you've taken it too far? What is it that you've gone to? So you've gone too far when maybe you're disengaging with the reality, or the point that, where you're ignoring your responsibilities, or it's detracting from productive pursuits. Maybe you're holding an image that perpetuates harmful stereotypes or impacts others negatively. Right? You want to be mindful of not continuing things that have been historically really harmful. But if you do need to use escapism, because we all occasionally need breaks from the stressful reality of our lives.
We definitely need breaks.
Definitely need breaks. So you got it right when it's an act of strengthening yourself, or when you've moved forward in life. Amanda, any other thoughts on when you've got it right?
When you notice the benefits from the visualization, you're not going backwards, you're moving forward.
Yeah, when you're not numbing yourself.
Yeah. Substance abuse would be a key alert, going in the wrong direction.
Indeed. All right, so what we've been talking now is the imagery that you can use in the secular arena. But what about ideas of using imagery in the faith and spiritual arena? Amanda, do you want to talk some about that?
Sure, thanks. So imagery in world religions. Each of the world's religions use a multitude of metaphors and symbolic images to reflect meaning. And this offers experiential benefits for people of those faiths. Believers view these symbols as sacred, awe-inspiring, with strong emotional attachments to them. In your own metaphorical craft of stories or visualizations, you may want to draw from these. In Christianity, the light represents hope, purpose along the way in life's journey. In Buddhism, the lotus blooming in muddy waters signifies that wisdom can emerge from tough experiences and challenges. In Hinduism, the ocean symbolizes interconnectedness of life, of all that it holds, and on the earth itself. Its vast expanse offers perspectives for individual roles in the larger cosmos of the world. In Islamic faith, the tree represents the strong spiritual foundation of knowledge and good deeds in the face of challenges. In this image created by Dolly, thank you, Microsoft Pilot, you can see the very strong roots and the Arabic there. The word is very important to the Islamic faith. In Judaism, the covenant represents community, and this is typically experienced through shared responsibilities and shared blessings as well. Noah is a strong figure in the Islamic faith, and there he is with the community. This is just a tiny sampling of the plethora of symbolism from religious traditions. You may know of a few.
All right, so the search, the free and responsible search for truth and meaning. My mother believed with every fiber in her being that Jesus was waiting for her in heaven. And this was very comforting to her when she was in her last weeks. Other people are very sure that when we die, that's it. Then these people have no need to try and craft imagery. They already are good. They don't need anything additional. But what about the people in the middle who maybe aren't so sure? They're wondering, is there a God? Is there some power in the universe? Is this all there is? And I'm going to float a heretical idea, which is that it does not matter whether God is real. And in fact, many agnostics believe we cannot know if there is a God or an energy in the universe, and that it is unknowable. And that leaves us free to literally make up our own story about God or the source of the universe, whatever you want to call that. Does it make you uncomfortable to think about making up your own story? I'm going to read you a quote from Elizabeth Gilbert. What I'm seeing in some of my friends is that as they're aging, there's a longing to have something to believe in. But this longing chafes against any number of obstacles, including their intellect and common sense. Despite this, people still live in a world that careens about in a series of wild and devastating and completely nonsensical lurches. Great and horrible experiences of either suffering or joy occur in the lives of all of us. I have a dear friend whose first child was born right after his beloved mother died. After this confluence of miracle and loss, my friend felt a desire to have some kind of sacred place to go, or some ritual to perform, in order to sort through all the emotions. My friend was a Catholic by upbringing, but he couldn't stomach returning to the church as an adult. Quote, "I just can't buy it anymore." He also said, but he'd be embarrassed to become a Hindu or a Buddhist or something like that because you don't want to go cherry picking your religion. Elizabeth Gilbert goes on to say, "This is a sentiment I completely respect, except for the fact that I totally disagree. I think you have every right to cherry pick when it comes to moving your spirit and finding peace in God. I think you're free to search for any metaphor whatsoever which will take you across the worldly divide when you need to be transported or comforted. It's the history of mankind's search for holiness. If humanity had never evolved in its exploration of the divine, a lot of us would be worshiping golden Egyptian statues of cats. This evolution of religious thinking does involve a fair bit of cherry picking. You take whatever works from wherever you can find it, and you keep moving towards the light. So, why might you consider crafting a visual metaphor in the realm of spirituality or faith? It might be that you are worried about the loss of rituals from childhood, or connection to something greater than oneself, or when the traditional religious images aren't working for you. Amanda, other things to add to that?
Success, healing, connection, achievement, forgiveness, anything that represents where you'd like to be for the greater good.
I'm going to share with you my personal metaphor. I have long struggled with the idea of an omnipotent God who controls everything. It just doesn't work for me. But I also have long had a sense that there is some kind of connecting energy or something between us and all the elements in the world, and that it is both inside of me but outside of me. And I also recognize that sometimes bad things just happen, or great things just happen. And how do I work with all of this and craft meaning for my own life? So after a lot of thought and creative thinking, I've come up with a metaphor of 3 canoes. These 3 canoes are all tied to each other. I'm my logical brain, the one who actually, thinks about where should I be going, what do I want to be doing. I'm in the middle canoe, paddling the way I think that I should be going. In the right canoe is the universe, the source, God, whatever, that has a sense of where my values or my skills and talents could best serve the universe, where my uniqueness can best be put to work. And that source or God is paddling in the direction that it thinks that I should go. And in the left canoe is random chance that can paddle you over a waterfall. Random things happen. Car accidents happen. You could win the lottery. It's not just bad things that happen. Really random good things happen as well. And that can pull you off, even if you're paddling in the other direction. Random chance can bring you where you didn't want to go, or where you thought you wanted to go but never expected you could be there. So if you're in a situation where all 3 canoes are being paddled in the same direction, you can get so much farther if you're trying to pay attention to all of the things that are happening, all of the leadings, trying to maybe avoid bad random chance things. You can get really far if all 3 canoes are going in the same direction. So if you're a person who maybe has an area that you think a metaphor might help, the having to do with faith or spirituality, the methods that we talked about earlier in the presentation work just as well for this area. And you may also want to think about religious imagery that also exists, and if that is useful to incorporate into your new way of thinking. Amanda, do you want to close this out?
I'll add briefly that, for atheists, they know. For those who believe, they know. For those who are agnostic, you're right. But you can hold on to a story, you can hold on to a metaphor, and you can have faith in that. I just hope that you are inspired to embrace metaphorical stories and visualizations in your own spiritual, philosophical, or earth-based journeys. And I do hope you find that this practice is a conduit for engaging within the world in a manner that honors yourself, honors your loved ones, as you search for truth and deep personal meaning in your own lives. And our imagery is displayed there, a little different than what we're seeing it, with the, I guess that's the dove of peace in the chalice.
And the phoenix.
Phoenix, oh, okay.
Yep.
Nice, it's beautiful.
All right, thank you all.
Thank you. That was wonderful. That was a phoenix, wasn't it, Janet? Don't know? Oh, our resident bird watcher. So, thank you. I have always loved stories and metaphors, Aesop's fables, the Bible, any stories that just invoke deeper meaning behind them. And thank you for sharing that. It gives us all more food for thought. Let's extinguish the chalice. The fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Our closing music is, oh, Let It Be.
You're all welcome to sing along. I think everybody knows this one. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, oh let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. For though they may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be. Let it be, oh let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, oh let it be. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be. There's a musical break there. Let it be. And when the night is cloudy, there is still a light that shines on me. Shine until the morning, let it be. I wake up to the sound of music. Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, oh, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be.
Thank you.
Before I share the closing words, I just remembered I forgot an announcement or a sharing during Joys and Concerns. I'm not sure many of you knew them, but Virginia Viles, who was married to Landon Viles, they were members of our community for a long time. When I joined in 2006, they were very, very active and went away every summer to make jewelry and then would come back and share with us how to make it and give us, I still have a necklace that they made years ago. Landon passed away 5 or 6 years ago, and Virginia had been in memory care for the last 3 years, and she did pass away last week. I believe she was close to 100, because I hosted a circle dinner at my home in 2015-16, and I learned then at that time she was 94 and he was 90, and she was driving and he was her co-pilot, and I was very nervous. However, they did quite well for all their years together. For so those of you that knew them, there will not be a service. Her family lived in another state, but they wanted us to know. So for those of you that knew Virginia, say a nice goodbye. So this benediction is from the Commission on Common Worship. To walk purposefully in the light truth sheds, steadily in the openness justice creates, and compassionately in the warmth love radiates, shall advance us surely toward the good, and shall, in the end, make us responsibly on the earth and fit companions for one another. May it be so. Well, let's have some coffee and cake to celebrate Joey and National Ice Cream Day. And Lorraine has something to add? Oh, I found, yes, we will be having a toast as well because you only turn 80 once. So let's celebrate it. And anybody else that's turned 80 that we might have missed, feel free to celebrate too.